G'day legends, Mod from Mod Scale Models. I'm back for part 5. Hey, we're going to finish this in this video. Yeah, it's always a good sign when I've got the green cloth out. You know I'm getting down to the business end. So what are we doing today on the 29 Model Aid Roadster, which I never named? I don't know. I just couldn't really come up with anything. You know, with all the other ones, it's like the fat boy, the wild boy. It's all going on out there today. I can hear sirens. So sorry, I digress. What we're going to do, right? What we're going to do today is the tub. Look at that. The tub's going to get faced back with 1,000. Okay, and then we're going to give it its final 2K clear. Yeah, in the SMS 2K clear. And the reason why we're going to do that today, because I've finally got the body ready, the chassis ready, and I've given it a coat of pearl on the black, not the floor, and it's looking really schmicko on the dicko. So that's ready to seal in 2K clear. I've just got to mask off that bit there because we want that sort of semi-gloss. We don't want that looking too shiny in there. So that's done. And the air intake is done. All right. So what I've done with that one, I've kind of done it in the same color, but a little bit off. So so that should look good. That's going to be 2K cleared. And oh God, don't hate me, but I've done the manifolds in white. And I don't know if you can hear, but my dog's down there. He's got one of his squeaky toys and he just, all of a sudden he wants to play, right? Because he thinks I'm talking to him. He doesn't realise I'm talking to you. And so anyway, I digress again. White manifolds. I know, you're probably thinking, Mod, what have you done? You've gone mad. You know what? I've seen it before on hot rods and in the white, and it does look like, trust me, just go with me on this and let's have a look and wait till the end. So don't send me any hate mail, not unless till the end. So they're going to be done in the 2K clear as well, just to give them a bit of pop. All right, so so they're good to go. The rest of the muffler systems all done. I've done that in acrylic, so you know they're all like with a little bit of heat marks on them and sealed in a bit of acrylic clear, so they're good to go. Oh, we're on the home run. So I'll get this rubbed back and then I'll prep everything and we'll get in the booth. I'll tell that dog to bugger off and let's get some clear on. Well, I've jumped ahead of myself. I'm not ready for putting it in the clear yet. I've got to rub this down, so I thought I always get lots of questions about, you know, rubbing down 2K clear and clears and, you know, and that sort of stuff. So what I'll do, I'll show you what I do, right? So first straight up, off the cup, get yourself some soapy water, all right? It'll cut down on the friction. Yeah. Get yourself some good quality soft pads, right? Because what we're after, we're not as much as blocking it down to get all the orange peel out of it, because there's hardly any at all, right? We've got a little bit of peel, a little bit of bumpiness over where the flame is, but that's okay. And I got a touch of just a tiny little bit of dust in there, and the rest of it is schmicko. Oh, maybe a touch there as well. So to rub those little bits of dust out, what sort of pad would I use? Well, I wouldn't use a flimsy one like this, okay? I'd probably use something a little firmer, all right? Now, the reason being, let me go over here and where's my, right, little class time. Okay, so I'll bring that in. Class time. So you've got a bit of dust in your paint. Okay, so I'm going to draw you a side-on view. What it looks like is God, that's not working too good. What it is, side on view is that. Okay, magnified is the dust. That's the clear surface, the 2K surface, and that is the bit of dust in your paint. So if you put it under a microscope, that's what you're going to see. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So if you rub it down with this, right, what it's going to do is it's going to go like this. Okay, and then you'll end up with, keep in mind this is under the microscope, you'll end up with this finish. All right. Now, you might think, geez, Mark, Mod, that's under a microscope. Yeah, but if you get in the right light, you'll see what looks like a blister, like a little bump where you've had a bit of dust in your clear and you try to polish it out. Okay, that's what you don't want. All right, so going back to the original bit of dust in there, right, which is under a microscope on the angle, by having a hard piece, which is kind of like blocking it down, okay? So it's its own block and sandpaper in one. What that does is it starts filing it down, all right? And then when you get down to here, right, you end up with nothing at all, all right? So you end up with that, all right, a flat surface. And then from there, you can polish, or you can do what I'm doing is I'm predominantly flow coating it, okay? So I can give that another couple of coats of clear. So that is how you properly get rid of dust in your paint. All right, so I hope that helped. And let's get on with it. Enough for the class. So, yeah, so I've identified the little bit of dust in there. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Let's go. Where's pointer? Oh, geez, I've got to be careful with pointer. Right there. See it? We're going to fix that. A little bit of 1000. All right, a little bit of water. And what I do first, right, I just put a little bit on there, and we're just going to just give it a light rub. All right, and have a look. See if you're on the money. No, it was off. Now, I always say, sorry. Oh, it's all going on here, isn't it? Oh, big budget here at Mods. Sorry, guys, I'll put it back in focus. I'm trying to chew gum and walk at the same time. Right, so what we're saying, let the sandpaper do the work. Don't go pushing on it and making it hard. Let the sandpaper do it. All right, and another little tip, right? I can still see it, but another little tip is you just put a bit of water over it, and that puts the gloss level. Okay, and then that shows you if you still got your bump there. All right, so I'm doing this first, and then I'll show you what I do next. All right, that's gone, and we just put a bit of water over it, and it is tickety-boo. Okay, so that's how you get rid of dust in your clear coat. Now, this process applies to acrylic clear, 2K clear, enamel clear, all the clears out there. It's the same thing, right? Just all called something different. All right, so that's done. Now, there was another little bit somewhere, wasn't there? No, that's pretty good. Oh, there's a speck. Oh, no, it's just a little speck of the pearl in it. And there's, well, that one's so small. You know what? I reckon that'll do. So let's get rid of that. And I'm just going to get some 1000 in the soft pad, right? And then I'm going to what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay away from the edges. I'm just going to put a bit of water on the subject, all right, and just give it a little tickle, as I call it used to call it in the trade. I used to say to the apprentices, just give it a tickle, Because what we don't want to do, we don't want to rub through, right? And just give it a wipe and see how she's coming back. Yeah, beautiful. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and get all this rubbed down. All right, I won't bore you with all the intricacies of me rubbing it down. And then when it's all cleaned up, ready to go, I'll get it prepped for the booth. So the next time, we'll meet in the booth. Yeah, we'll meet in the booth, and we're going to put the final coats on this and on the chassis. And I'm getting excited. Alrighty, we're ready to go. Just made up some 2K. We'll get a glove on, give her a good stir, and then we'll get it on. So because it's so warm up here today, I'm running about 22 degrees in my office, which is ideal for spraying 2K. So we're all set to go, and gun's set, got the large setup on it, the 0.6, so we're good to go. So I really want to throw it out there. What I'm after a off the gun finish, as we say in the trade, so I don't have to rub it back and polish it. All right, so how I'm going to get that is with this. All right, but what I will do to control, because I'm using the big setup, I'll control the volume coming out by adjusting it in. So, all right, so we'll see how that works out. All right. For those of you out there that are a bit hesitant to give the old 2K a go, do yourself a favour and give it a crack. And if you need some sort of moral support along the way, just hit me up on the socials, hit me up on Facebook, and yeah, message me and we can go for it. I can help you through it. Always important, as I always say, dust down whatever you're using to hold your model, dust that down as well. I've already given this a clean with a little bit of IPA, which is just alcohol, right? Look, you can make your own IPA, just use Windex. However, make sure it's clear Windex, not the blue stuff, because the blue stuff's got dye in it, yeah, and it'll leave a residue behind. So there's a hot little tip for you. Righto, we're good to go. Let's get it on. Quick spray. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's turned that in a little bit. I start from the top and pull down. And that is friggin' stunning. Look at that. Just beautiful. All right, so let's let that dry for 10 minutes. And we'll get onto the chassis. Gee, I hope it looks all right. I've kind of poxed it up a bit. Actually, I'm going to do the black. I decided to leave it the floor mats. We're going to do it in the gloss. So this is the first coat of clear on this. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a tack. I don't want that pearl to go floating. that? Looking good. So, time for the air filter. Air intake. Look at that. And a little bit more for the muffler. They look absolutely schmicko on the dicko. Hey, someone wasn't happy that I used that phrase, so I'm trying not to offend anybody. It's like I have to apologise for the way I speak. And someone said to me, "Is that a model term?" We'll let that dry for 10 minutes and I'll come back for the final coat. Alrighty, round 2. Done. Beautiful. Now, if you're worried, right, about the flow and it might flow out a bit, just rotate it around. All right. Just let me do that in other videos. Only reason, particularly on these particular type of models, because they've got lots of sharp edges, and the clear will just kind of fall off it. All right. So just do that until it flashes off. You're not completely out of the woods if you're starting to get a bit of a sag, and you need to turn it the opposite way and keep an eye on it. All right, but that is schmick. It looks fabulous in the sun. The sun's starting to come through in my office in the afternoon. So let's get this done. Sometimes I need 3 hands. I just noticed the dry spot. All right. What we don't want. at that. Hang on, I'll just... Just looks beautiful. It's come up really, really nice. Oh, sorry, I'm all over the place looking at it myself. So what we'll do, we'll let that obviously cure, and I'll get all cleaned up, and then when it's all dry, I'll take it back to the table and we can start fitting it up. Well, I'm excited. Big day in the booth yesterday. Well worth it. Just check that out. I don't need to touch it. I might put a little bit of wax on, but I'll let it fully cure for about 30 days for that final, that last of the gases and, last of the solvents to finally come out of the 2K clear, and then I will wax it. This has come up so good. It's actually come up so good that I might even consider entering this in the state model comp. It's come up that good. I haven't finished it yet, but it's looking good. So that's the I forgot to say, it's always a good sign. Let me put that when I've got the green microfiber down. That means I'm on the home run. So that's done. The engine, I've still got a fair bit of detail to do. I've got to wire it all up. But what I did yesterday was on the rocker covers, I grabbed a cotton bud with a little bit of acrylic thinners, and I just wiped the top just to take off the chrome to leave it a little bit black. You know how when engines wear in, they get a little bit sort of black on top of the rocker covers. So I've done that deliberately, and that is, sorry guys, that's starting to look schmicko. I've just got to probably do the belts in a flat black. They look a bit too glossy, as you can see. I don't know if that's going to come out, but I've done the nuts in the locking nuts on the pulleys in the chrome, in the SMS hyper chrome pen. Yeah, if you haven't got one of these, you need to do yourself a favor and get one. Fantastic for the little bits and pieces. Yeah. So that's looking good. What I probably should have done is I chromed the oil the oil filter. Probably should have done that white, but that's okay. There's the dizzy cap, which I've done in chrome. So we're going to drill a hole in that, and then so we can wire it all up. So we've got a little bit of work to do, but we're on the home run. Well, home stretch. Look at the chassis. Get a load of that. That is seriously not one dry spot anywhere on it. Look at it. How cool does that look? So with the chrome pen, I'm going to chrome the steering column. Yeah. Or actually, now that I've seen it in the black, oh geez, I might leave it. So look at that. That's just jet black with the hollow shift pearl. Yeah. So how cool does that look? Yeah, that is that's really good. I'm really happy. So that's where we're at with those bits. I've started to assemble the diff bits and pieces. Okay, so that should start to, yeah. I hope it doesn't look too lollipoppy. There's the front suspension assembly. And I've started on the dash. I've got the decals on the dash, which you probably can hardly see, right? But the bolt heads in the dash, I'm going to do them with the touch of the pen, and I think that should look pretty cool. Still working on the radiator. Just got to put a bit more black inside. So I've actually painted that by hand. It's about the only thing I've actually painted by hand, I think, at this stage. Everything else has been sprayed. And I think wheels, they're starting to look good. Yeah. And what I've done, the locking nuts, I'm going to, oh, sorry guys, the locking nuts I'm going to do in white. All right. So, and that's going to match the interior. Okay, the little nuts. Oh God, well, let me go back there. That's better. So we are definitely, we're going to start fitting up the chassis today. Oh, the air intake, look at it. We're going to chrome the top of that. All right, don't know how I'm going to do that just yet, but super critical because that's come up so good. Oh, don't judge me. The white manifolds, exhaust pipes, yeah, up against that. Look at that. Now, where I got the inspiration for that is from the old speedway cars back in the day. They used to paint their mufflers white. I don't know why. If anyone knows why, drop a comment. But it just come to me, ooh, and I thought, do them white. So how good's that? So what I will do, I will see if I can drill out the exhaust pipes a little bit, so I can put a bit of black in there. I probably should have done that to start with, but you know, these things happen, and we're definitely getting there. Now, I will start fitting up the chassis. Yeah, and I'll come back to you when I've got a little bit more done. But it's really, I cannot believe how good this has come up. Because, you know, when I took it out of the box to start, I went, oh, geez, this is going to be a nightmare to build this thing. But it's been relatively easy. Well, no, nothing's easy in the model game, is it? It's been relatively straightforward. So I've got the tail lights to do yet. Don't know what I'm doing with them, but we'll work that out. So enough waffle for me. I will start fitting it up, and I'll come back to you when I've got something to show you. Well, it's looking fantastic, and I've decided I think I'm going to flock. I'm going to flock. I'm going to flock this. I'm going to put some carpet in the bottom. Yeah, but check it out. Let me just check out that. Absolutely next level. It looks so good. I've just got to brush some black carefully inside the exhaust pipes, and but it is looking really, really good. Super, super happy. So obviously, you know, all that ugliness under there will be hidden by the seat. So it's getting there. Super, 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 super happy. Hey, here's a little hot tip for you guys. When you're, particularly those who are just starting off in finishing in 2K, okay? When you're component painting, individual component painting like this, right? yeah, and then you're putting your 2K clear on, you got to allow that parts are no longer going to fit because of the build-up. You know, you've got your base coats on there, particularly with this blue. You know, you've got your white on. You got your primer on, your white on, your pearl coat, base coat on, then your clear coat. So she starts to thicken up a bit. So you need some tools to be able to file away the little bits to get all these parts to fit. Okay, now there's some that could possibly say that maybe you should file them beforehand. Yeah, but you just don't know how many microns you're going to get ended up on your body. So what I tend to do is I just run a filing stick. I run a little file. I run my blade, and I just sort of trim and I cut. And I just make everything fit. Now, the good thing about it, now here's another little hot tip. People say, I get questions all the time saying, hey, Mod, do you prime up your parts? Yeah, I do. But the most critical thing before I prime up, say, parts, is I get my sanding pad and I rub all around the edges, right? So I give that primer something really good to key to, okay? By doing that, when I come along later and start filing, yeah, I'm not going to end up with broken pieces of paint chipping off, yeah, because I've got good adhesion. All right, so these are just the little techniques. It does take a bit longer, right? But if you follow these really good techniques, you can end up putting it together and you don't have broken paint anywhere. All right, and it only takes, it takes a few minutes to rub down to make sure, because you've got to give something for the primer to key to. Once the primer's on, it's all downhill from there, right? I mean, yeah, you give it a quick scuff, unless you're going a one-shot primer, and then you can just put it straight on. But that's a little lesson for newbies to the industry, or to the hobby, I should say. It's my industry, new to the hobby world. You can get results like this. You just got to tweak your techniques a little bit, all right? Because you got to allow for that thickness in the paint, all right? Particularly with 2K, but it also applies to acrylic as well. So we are definitely looking good. So I just thought I'd show you where we're at. So the next thing I've got another few bits to put on the chassis, and then we'll put on the front shockies, and then we're going to work towards the wheels. So when we get a bit closer, I'll come back and show you a bit more. Rightio. Look at that. I've just been sort of, just chipping away at it. It's a gorgeous morning here in sunny Queensland, and it's a Friday afternoon, Friday morning, sorry. So I'm just end of the week, and getting a bit tired of looking at these things. So I'm just taking my time and just getting every little bit perfect. And I thought, well, here's a perfect time to show you. I just thought I've got some bits setting, so it's time just to put that down. All right, so we'll get that over there, and I'll show you a couple of things that I'll show you some products that I'm using, right? And I'm sponsored by Icky Sticky. I always have this ready when I'm putting together my builds, all right? And it's CAD Bonder, all right? Dissolves, cured, and incured or uncured super glues, yeah? So if you've got a little bit of something going on, where you've dabbed it, you can just put that on and take it off. Also, if you get a little bit of clouding, where you get that little bit of clouding around a little bit of CA glue, if you put too much on, that stuff's handy. And also, if you glue your hands together, yeah, or you get a bit on your hands, you can just put that on. That's perfectly safe for skin. So, and that's the medium CA I use, all right, to put all my models together. So let me just, I'll put my fingerprints all over this because I haven't waxed it yet, as I said before. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to put the number plate frame on. Sorry, guys. I'm going to put the number plate frame on. So let's get Halo down. Get him up out the way. All right, so what do is I pre-drill the holes because they're all full of base coat, and we spoke about that before about the filling up. So critical thing when you're doing this is to get it in, right, and just slowly turn it, right? Now, don't pull it out. Don't yank it out. Reverse it. All right? And that will get you your holes beautiful. If you just go ahead and put it in, right? Put it in, pull it out, there's a slight chance that you could take some paint with you because you're not going to get the best adhesion inside a hole, right? You can't get in there to rub down. Now, I've made it very careful. I've made it a point to make sure I rub down around holes like that to minimise the off chance of it breaking away. So, all right, so this side's been done. So in and out. All right. Now, once you've done that, you can put her in and you can pretty much pull it out. All right, just a little hot tip there. All right. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and put the number plate frame on, get that glued in, and then I'll come back when there's something else going on. I'm starting to slow down a bit now because I've got some bits I've got to paint. So yeah, I could have been organised, but I'm not. I'll talk to you soon. So I've got the rest. I've got the rest of the parts painted, and get rid of halo out of there. And the body's got the interior and the dash. When I say interior, it's got the side door cards in, and the dash is in. So that's all done, and of course the arches are done, and so that's good. The wheels are on, sort of ish. Hey, do you remember way back in the first, was it part 1, where I said to you that the chassis was shonky? It still is a bee's willy, but I reckon, oh geez, I don't know. I reckon I can manipulate it by hand a little bit, but it was shocking to start with. So as you can see, I've got all the wheels on now, and yeah, you know, these old kits, they're you know what? One of these days when I do a kit like this, I'll just make my own chassis because it's not rocket science, right? At least I know it'll be straight and square. So anyway, I digressed a bit. What we're going to do now is let me get rid of that before I do any damage because that would be disastrous. We'll need the distributor cap. Get rid of the air intake pipe or whatever you want to call it. We'll set that up there. Look at the afternoon light coming in. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through how I make my own distributor leads. This particular time I'm doing them in copper because I reckon it will work, so I can use a little bit of wiring, right? So let me just bring that in for you. And I'll go, oh, God, that might be too much. Let's go there. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. This is pretty fine detailing work. So, all right, so there you go. So I'll put a twist in it, and it gives a nice effect. When the sunlight hits the copper and it bounces off the twist, and of course, you know, I've drilled all the holes out, so that'll sit in there like yay. Sorry, I can't see that far away. And then I'll put them all into the distributor cap, and then I'll send them out. And for all you purists out there, I'm not worried about the firing sequence because I'm not. Get a life. So what I do is I grab 2. Okay, grab 2. Leave it with a little bit of sheathing still on it. Okay, and then just grab your little hand vise. All right, and just shove them in there. Sorry guys, I normally use my little, just bear with me while I use my magnifying glass. Okay, And then what I do, I just twist. And keep twisting until they're really quite taut. Now, you don't want to twist to the point where they start collapsing on themselves, right? Because these are pretty fine wires. I'll try and get... Okay. All right. And then let it go. All right. And then just grab yourself your pliers. I'll just bring that back now. Grab your pliers, cut it off. And there is your spark plug wire. All right. So there you go. So I will go ahead and put... It's Friday afternoon and I'm sort of thinking, geez, I tell you what, I'm not far off having a little bevy, I reckon. Just a little bevy. And for those who don't know, because people they contact me and go, what does bevy mean? Beverage, drink. Sorry, some people just sort of struggle with my accent, and I don't mean to be an Australian. I'm sorry. I am an Australian and I'm proud of it, so I can't do much about it. If you don't like it, see you later. Sorry, I had a little rant then, didn't I? Right, so we're good to go. So I have to make 8 of them plus the extra one, which goes to, I can't remember, but anyway, it'll come to me. So we'll do that, and I've still got to do the flocking. I thought I'd just leave that flocking bit till last, because I don't want any damage, and but look at it. Look at it with the wheels on. Look at the stance. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. We'll get the headlights in soon. Headlights. What else have we got? There's the little linkage. The steering wheel linkage has got to go in, right? The steering arm to control, left, right, all that sort of caper. But we're definitely on the home stretch. And, so I'll continue on and make the rest of these. I might have to put some music on because that will suck the rest of the life out of me making them, but they've got to be done. And I'll come back when there's something else to show you. Well, it's finished. I got a bit carried away. It was like, what it's like when you put your models together. They just fall into place. This thing has been fallen into place. The only real issue I've had is with the chassis. Do you remember? I've spoken about it a couple of times. It had a wonk in it like me donkey's doodle. It was pretty bad, and it's still not 100%. And I've got to fix that. I just needed to walk away from it for a little bit, and then I'll come up with a plan just to give it a bit of a tweak. But as you can see, she's all done. Let me pick it up. Hopefully you can make out the, I'll just drop halo. You can make out the flames. All right. And that was the stencil from the Lazy Modeler. They supplied that, so big thank you to them. And what I would probably do different next time is I reckon I go a white chassis. Yeah, just because the white looks really good. So that's it. I put a number plate on. So I've just got to put the indicators on, and they're finished. I'll show you. They're finished. They've got a little chrome edge around them. Let me just bring that in. They got a little. Sorry guys, it probably won't focus. But anyway, it's got a little chrome edge around it, and let me bring that back. So she's done. Really enjoyed building this. I made up some copper wires for the plugs, and I had to shove them down the back. The dizzy cap didn't fit on the back of this particular build. So, yeah, I'll do a photo shoot and I'll put it on Facebook. But it's come up really good, eh? I'm just can't believe how well this has come up. So that's pretty much, we're going to call it. I'll just put them on later today. I'll put the rear muffler bits on. I just had to, and I tell you, there's a couple of takeaways from this build, and there always is, right? There's always a couple of takeaways of good things. This, right, the Hyperchrome pen. I've been using that to do touch-ups, and, it's kind of perfect for this style of scale model, where you got a bit of chrome and you want a, little touch-up. I did the top of the air intake with it. I just went, yeah, and I did the pipes, the radiator pipes, and I did the linkage for the steering to the front suspension. Oh God, I hope that comes out. Sorry, but I'll do a photo shoot, and it just, yeah, super happy. No polishing. That's just straight off the gun. And like I always say, you guys can achieve these finishes, right? Just got to use good quality paint and some technique. And, the technique, you can learn the technique. It's a learned behaviour. Like I say, it's a learned behaviour. You can do it. So you just got to follow some techniques and some procedures and, do it a certain way, and you will get results like this every time. Every time. Look at it. No crap in the paint. No nothing. Yeah. So, yeah. So there you go. So that's that. I do need to thank the Scale Modelers Supply for sponsoring this build. They made this one possible, and I really appreciate their support on this one. They just when I spoke to Scott, he said, "Yeah, mate, let's do something together." And I was blown away. I thought he'd probably get these sort of things all the time and probably say no. So thanks, Scott, for that. And don't forget, he's given us a discount on his page. So go over to www.scalemodeler.com.au, right? He's given 10% across the board at mods 10. I'll put it right here. I'll write it here, yeah? And you go along and do this and pop over and see them, and you can get great results like this with their paint. Easy. And also the Lazy Modeler. Yeah, they've been, they've just come on board. Big thanks to them. And they've given a 10% as well at mod scale. All right, we'll put it down there, right? And then thelazymodeler.com. All right, so big thanks to those guys for sponsoring this. And thank you guys. Yeah. Thanks for I hope you like this sort of style. If you like this style, let me know in the comments, because I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever built this style. I still didn't give it a name. I just called it the Ford. Because this is all new to me. I've never done this. I've never done this sort of style before. And you know what? I kind of like it. It's groovy. I went and showed this to my wife, and she gets a bit of, she's seen so many over the years, it's just another one. And she said, I really like that. And I said, I think I do too. It's sort of, yeah, it's just groovy. So I've been looking online to see what else I can purchase to do another couple. So, if you've got some ideas for me on this sort of style, let me know in the comments, because I really enjoyed it, and lots of detail. And so if you like my content, like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, we've now got our legends, membership legends with a member legends with a member, I'm calling it, where you can get behind the scenes of all this stuff, and well and truly in advance of when I bring it out. So look at that on the tubes, and show your support there. That really appreciated. And I will. I'll catch you on the next one. But hey, don't forget to let me know where you're from. You guys know I love that. It gets me out of bed in the morning when you tell me where you're from with your comments and that stuff. And don't forget to subscribe. The more I get, the more sponsors I get on board and the more outlandish models I can build. So, cheers. Catch you on the next one.